gorgeous eyes in the cast. Show them, come on, flash them.
Yeah, look at this, yeah.
Very kind.
Yeah.
Nothing, I didn't grow them myself or anything, they just happened.
Right, just lucky, I guess. Let's begin. Welcome to Coloring with the Cast. We want to have you color. We have googly eyes, we have sticker books, we have all this fun things here. Excellent. It's really just about having fun and relaxing, and this is very Comic-Con, I kind of feel too. So I guess first question is, how is your Comic-Con going so far?
Do you know what I've just realised, just starting this, is that I can't multitask.
Yeah,
so you talk to these guys.
I am listening, but I'm very focused.
That's the deal, right?
Yeah, one of you talks, the other two can go and do this too. Okay. So I'll start with
great.
Start with me. Do you know this is my second time of doing it? So
right.
Like 2 years ago was Hall H for the first time, which was, we had no idea what we were about to hit. You know, right. So it's been beautiful coming back second time around. Also because everybody's now seen the show, so what you get is you get a reaction to people having seen the performances, the story, and it's beautiful because you don't usually get that. You make a film, you make a TV, it just goes out there into the ether, and every now and again you bump into an individual who has seen the show. Just the amount of folk who've seen it and felt it and share that with you. It's beautiful. It's very special Comic-Con for that.
And to speak to that kind of point too, you know, you come to Comic-Con, you know what you were expecting. You know, coming into Lord of the Rings, it's so deep. Everything about it is just, there's a depth beyond depth, and then the fandom goes beyond. They'll know names, they'll know pronunciations that they are sure are correct, and they'll educate you on things that you're playing and how everything else too. So how did that change when you realized the world of Lord of the Rings and how much these people have lived with this creation in this universe, you know?
Well, I mean, pretty much throughout, we're all fans.
Sure.
So it's kind of like we welcome any of that. Like, I want to hear your opinion. Let's talk about Gil-galad's parentage. There's some debate about it, and I would love to debate about it. And so it feels like there are co-patriots. We want it to be good. We want to protect something you love. And the fact that you have an opinion and are talking about it is only a good thing. It's great.
Yeah, and if you think about some of those great podcasters out there, like Tolkien Professor or whatever, very humble man, just delighted that everybody's coming and showing interest. Not trying to one-up you about what they know about Tolkien. It's like, welcome to the family, let's discuss. There's subjectivity in all the texts. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
And the greatest takeaway has been an introduction to a whole different fan base that now have seen our version. They're maybe too young for the Peter Jacksons. That wasn't theirs, but they will then go see the Peter Jacksons, and more importantly, they'll read the books.
Right.
Yes. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That there's a whole generation of kids that are now introduced to the literature.
Right. Now, when you get ready for your scenes, you have your scripts too. Is there like a LOTR historian who tells you their place in the moment of everything, or you just try to focus on where you are now? Because everything connects, of course. You know, everything is the past, the future, the present.
Yep.
So how do you kind of take those in, or is that more along the lines of the script people and the director to kind of figure out the gravitas of certain moments that are going to mean so much more later on?
We have a great support team. I mean, from Leith McPherson to fellow cast members. I mean, JD and Patrick. I mean, there are some necessary truncations of the story that you have to do just because it's a television show. You know, we're gonna cut some time when they're walking to Casa Doom because otherwise that's 3 episodes.
And of walking.
Yeah, of just, how did they get there?
An amazing score while you're walking.
There you go.
If we
nice bit of wind.
But we burned up 80 hours of television.
A score like that as we walk along, walking the dog or something.
You got it in your head, haven't you?
That's the way it is. It all has to be magical.
But it is collaborative in that sense that from the first read through to when we're shooting it, we're constantly tweaking and trying to milk every little bit of magic out of it that we can within the structure of the fact that we're making a television show.
Right. Yeah. So if I can ask, how do we find each of your characters and you as we come into this new season?
Well, we just sort of pick up where we left off, really.
There's no time.
You blink and we're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, the way the first season ends, we're all on the precipice. You know, the elves are leaving. You guys can't get your act together. Sauron is rising. Miv has absolutely screwed all of Middle-earth because she didn't listen to the king, but, you know, we'll leave that.
You probably
I like the way you make it sound like politics.
Yeah. I like the way you say Miv rather than Galadriel.
Well, I mean, just as a person, you know, it's frustrating. But that's an astute point, because the first season is largely about politics and world building, whereas the second season, we really hit the ground running, and we're getting our hands dirty in terms of when politics fail. What do you do when you cannot maintain peace anymore? And that's the second age. Dirty.
If I can ask, what was your favorite moment of last season for each of your characters? Were you something you were looking forward to, or maybe being apprehensive about delivering? It could have been just delivering a specific, some lines or something, or perhaps action.
Well, we got to film in Tenerife, so I think that was a highlight.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Great.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that was wonderful for us. You know,
It's on a blue screen.
It was boiling with like this whole wardrobe on you, just heavy, and so we didn't really get a
Sorry, that beach
respite from the
location
heat
was
day.
such a pain. No, good. I was in Windsor. Beautiful Windsor.
At night in the rain.
Yeah, or in a muddy pit.
Yeah. I think being hot in Tenerife is much worse.
I do not agree in any capacity.
For me, whenever I go on a horse, it's just we were very lucky in New Zealand. We had like 3 months of horse riding lessons 3 days a week, so we got reasonably good at it. And I say that from an acting perspective, which is overhearing 2 stuntmen in New Zealand saying, "Hey mate, you know what the most dangerous person on the film set is?" He goes, "No, who's that?" And he goes, "It's an actor who thinks he can ride."
Fair enough. No, that's true.
True story.
That's true.
That's Maxim Baldry on a horse.
He's going to kill us all.
Yeah. He's off. He's like, "I want to do that." And I was like, "No, you're not doing that."
Can I go faster? No, you may not.
So but that's beautiful. And then so you get this time. That's what's so much of this project has been that, which is we have had the time. We had the time to rehearse. We had the time to discuss. We've had the time to go through some of the literature we've had. We were given so much opportunity, and you very rarely get that amount of time to rehearse and that amount of time to let it seep into you. So that in the case of horse riding, you feel confidence in a horse. You look forward to seeing a horse. You look forward to building up a new relationship with the new horse that they give you. Plus the fact, in the costume.
Some of the best scene partners I've had have been horses.
Right.
Sensational.
Can't go wrong. How about you for last season?
Me?
Yeah.
I really like my fellow elves.
Yeah.
And I like the story arc that we're building. I like working with them. I like the sense of collaboration. And also, I like the love of Tolkien that we all share, that it can be a debate, that we make each other better, and that we're all fans. I think that's my favorite part. Yeah. I think we all have those moments of just like, this is the job you imagined when you were a kid.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're wearing a crown and someone's fixing your cape and
You're wearing a crown.
Well,
I've got to wait a long time before I get a crown.
We'll see.
I have a fair bit of bling as well. I love my rings.
Oh,
I have a lot
yeah.
of rings. Yeah, my knuckle dusters.
Well, and
the show's about rings, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hand model because you have some specific things you get to play with as well.
Yeah,
Nice
there's a lot
ring.
of hand shots, a lot of cheeky hand shots.
There's a future for you. There's a future for you for sure.
Some of your best work.
Yeah, I should have a stunt double. It's very tiring sometimes.
As we progress in the story and this season too, I mean, do we get to answer some questions? Are we going to hold some things back? Or Isildur still alive? We have Sauron now. We have a stranger we need to define as well. So are some answers still coming, and some things are just best left unsaid for a while?
I think regarding Numor, you're going to see 2 perspectives of grief, of how people grieve and how that affects 2 factions.
Right.
I'd say one is closer to an ideology, fancies itself as being more progressive and innovative, and the other is a little bit more antiquated, I would say, and more in touching with being a religion. So you've got these 2 factions, this schism, and how is the death of the king and the vacuum, how is that going to affect everybody?
Right.
Yeah, and we're just dealing with the fallout of Miv's raging mistake.
I didn't vote for her.
I like to think of the king as kind of existing in this parental role of, well, you got yourself up in that tree, now you're going to have to get yourself down.
Right.
That like a loving parent of, I'm doing the best I can, but also giving freedom for them to find their own way. Right. And I mean, that's how you tell a good story also.
What the boys have done so well in terms of writing, at least Numenor from Elendil's perspective and with his family, is that they've taken this new character Eärl and his daughter, and they put this family right on the fault line of Numenor. So you've got incredibly painful and difficult choices between love of nation, love of family, and which side of history do you want to be on? And if you're beloved, the people that you love are on the wrong side of history.
Right.
What do you do?
And also how you guys deal with trauma is really interesting. Like how you're all carrying it in a different way and how it motivates your decisions and when you don't agree, but you all have this shared fission in your, or what's it called?
It's very altruistic.
You have a shared pain.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, and that's reflected in Numenorean society as well.
Fissure,
yes.
That's what I meant.
Fissure, yeah, nice. Yes, and how the different. Everyone grieves at a different rate and pace,
right.
And that spins everybody out. And there's extra grief for Numenor because we've lost so many people in the battle that we finished in season 1. So there's so much to come on that island, but I just feel that. You can really sense it's not binary in the sense that Pharazôn's character is progressive in terms of wants to nation build, wants to make something bigger and better of Numenor. And you could argue that the faithful are conservative with a small c, and they just want to stay entrenched in the old ways.
Right.
So there's an argument that's believable on both sides, I think.
Right.
Anyway.
I think as well, what Numenor used to be, I think, is what they used to call like organic solidarity, where with all the guildsmen, everybody plays their part and society functions, and now it's becoming more mechanical, one track. It's like, right, we need to make Numenor this power again because we've lost face because of this war and stuff. So I think we
let's come back to the elves, man.
Again, we devolve slightly as a people,
I'm trying. It's just a matter of time.
Right. Where are the eagles at? Everyone just come back to the elves. Where are my eagles at?
Where my eagle at?
That's a shirt. That's a good shirt, you guys. Where are my eagles at? So I do want to ask you, as actors, when you're doing so much of this stuff, sometimes there's blue screens and there's so many things you don't know. But once you do something like a big fight and you see the ray coming off you have a moment where it's just kind of like almost religious in some of the ways it kind of connects together. What was that moment when you saw it on the screen? Even if it's like the daily of it, where you saw it, where you go, okay, like I'm here. This is me. I place myself now.
Well, I had in the first season, you go to your fitting and they have a mock-up of what they want to make, and you have a conversation about it, and then our designer said, "Do you want to meet the gang?" It's like, yeah. And then these double doors open, and you're looking at this cavernous warehouse of the best craftspeople on the planet. And you have an armorer who's fine-tuning metal. You have a blacksmith who's building real armor. You have people hand embroidering different garments. And there's just, like, that to me is so humbling and so confidence building that you have such a team of support and people that love what they do as much as you love what you do. And that to me is the pinch me moment of the army of brilliant craftspeople that this brings together.
It's an incredible combination, isn't it, of building the actual objects, making the actual armor, in conjunction with the CGI stuff that goes on. I think it's been a brilliant blend of those two things. But there's been a sort of a real focus on actually making as much as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
So physically,
we don't look at a lot of tennis balls.
We really don't. We really don't. Everything. So if you take Numenor, everything is built there, isn't it? That old city, and then just in the very distance, you'll have a blue screen. But the canals were built, or on the boats within them. They got a wave machine that just like moves that water, so the water's actually moving while you're floating in it.
But there's also those shots too, where you're like, you get done hitting the sword, and the wet hair flies back, and you have to look at, spike the camera and look out there.
That's because there's a clause in his contract. That's why that happened.
I love that you're throwing that to me. Yeah. You're the sailor with the gorgeous hair.
We need that L'Oreal brand money to come in for you guys. That's what everyone's getting along.
It's already in.
Listen,
it's the Trystan season.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, very cool. So, we are in a world of fandom and all these things too. I have to ask: have any of you ever asked for an autograph in your life? Whether it was sports person or anything else too?
Well, can I just say, I fanboyed the other day. I was in the lift, and the gentleman in the lift with me said, "Oh, what floor are you going to?" I said, "Oh, I'm ground floor, please." Number one.
I'll sign anything you want.
And I just looked at him, I thought, oh my God, it's Anthony Starr, Homelander from The Boys, which is an incredible show. Yeah. So I lost all composure, and I just said, oh my God, just you're Anthony Starr.
Right.
He didn't know it himself. And just wouldn't let go of his hand, just like shook his hand off and stuff. He said, "Oh, to meet you, sir." So yeah, I went a bit giddy.
Did you explain? Oh, by the way, I'm this person. I belong in this lift too.
As he was supposed to be.
I belong here too. Just so you know.
As he was running out of the lift, I was like, "I'm an actor. I'm with Rings of Power."
He texted me later. He's like, "There's a creep on your show."
Peer. How about you two? Any autographs you've ever asked for?
As a kid, we used to have a little autograph book.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You try and get as much as you can from different things. I got Albert Finney when I was a kid. I see him in a play, signed my book. I'm a Chelsea football fan. I got Zola, the great Italian football player. When you get them, and now I think it's been replaced by the selfie almost, isn't it? It's like you've got to get a picture of you with them, as opposed to the signature, which is not quite the same thing.
My problem with the selfie is the fact that you make it part about you then, more than about the moment and the story, because that's what autographs were. I met him and the story was this, and this is the signature. Look at how he draws or what he does. I mean, some actors used to spend so much time on their signature, I mean, I have one with Mel Blanc, and he draws like a little picture next to it. Yeah, he does the voice of the original voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck back in the old days, and so you see those, and so it's just one of those things where you're like, there's a story, but now selfie is about look what I did too, which is always kind of a
every once in a while.
You're there.
Every once in a while, you get someone who wants a selfie, and then they just turn their back to you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I interrupted your day. You interrupted my dinner to take my picture." But now it's like, "Yeah, I'm done with you. Thanks."
But it's interesting, isn't it? They felt like there was more time. I totally relate to that. I've got little comments from people I got the autograph from.
Yeah.
Best wishes.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah, exactly. Never become an actor. Whatever you do,
Right.
And there was a bit more time to do that.
Right.
It was now everything's much quicker, right? So we haven't got time to write that stuff.
It really is, How about you?
I was maybe 11, and I saw Bonnie Raitt play at a concert, and she signed an autograph for me, and I was a very ballsy, stupid kid. And I asked her to marry me. Will you marry me? And she went, no. That's pretty cool.
They prepared you later.
Greatest blues singers of all time. Like,
he does that to so many people.
Yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic.
Well, that goes because romanticism is part of this world as well too. So, what is the romantic nature you have to these characters too? Because there's such a romance to the world and everything in there because it's it is fantastical, but grounded in their own reality. Mm-hmm. So, what do you romanticize about kings and things like that? It's kind of interesting because we take everything so much for granted, and it seems like even this day of selfies, we bring things so far down as opposed to rising things up.
We're definitely more informed these days, but we don't really have productive boredom where you have a deep focus.
Right.
And I think that's where you're talking like kings like Gil-galad and myself, and you're a lonely sea captain, but I put you up there.
I'm trying my best.
Like
There's a freedom there.
Yeah, there's a freedom. But there is time for you to sort of contemplate things and be lost in your thoughts and come up with moments, sparks of genius. Like these guys, I can imagine.
Really?
Yeah.
I have moments of genius.
No, not the actor, not the actor.
Sure, no, all right. No.
I'd imagine
You're good.
Trystan Gravelle sparks genius.
No, but these characters, you know,
Right.
are capable of great things. Is what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Not us, you know. But like, but yeah. So I guess they have that time. They have that sort of, you know, that productive boredom where you can just think about things, and like that eureka moment will come, which I don't think we have that much anymore.
Right.
So we're robbed of that. I think we're robbed of time.
Right. Well, I think that's the beauty, because you get to live within these characters in this show, and there's so much that goes on. Even if you were just living in the books, you get a pretty rich life therein from the beginning of there too.
And like the books, go ahead. Well, just quickly, actually. And like the books, when you revisit that material, where you are in your life illuminates something new about the text every time. And we do have the luxury of spending time with the character that, as we evolve as people, they do inform you. You do get to take something from it, and that's a privilege.
Yeah, so in terms of leadership, you know, you've got three people that are supposed leaders.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think, from Elendil's perspective, the sort of hero archetype that he is.
Right.
How and he's on the hero's journey, which is a little like, me. It's going to be me that has to do this.
Right.
And how you watch the development, how you learn leadership, because it's not born. I don't think you're born a leader. I think, and in his case, Midiel being blind, so he has to see for her. She helps him interpret what is going on through her experience. Right. So just trying to inhabit that element that's a great privilege, because you go, okay, how is this fully rounded, fallible human being going to become this great king at some point in the future, and team up with this dude over here?
Yeah, for sure. Last question is, if you had a choice of rings, which one? I mean, even if it's just aesthetic purposes, which ring is your?
I have a black pearl ring that I wear, and I really want that when the film ends.
Is it a ring of power, though?
No, it's Pharazôn's ring. Yeah. You'll see it on my left hand, on my pinky. Yeah. I really want that. Yeah.
I too like. I there were some rings in the first season. They're not rings of power, but Kate Hawley, our designer, had this beautiful idea, because I had a picture of brass knuckles that I liked for the king, and she kind of built brass knuckles for me, this kind of ornate, beautiful selection of rings that in one instance seems like the Pope or something, but then when you make a fist, they become this kind of violent, brutal weapon.
Right.
And that is just that little tiny detail can make all the difference between something cartoonish and something really interesting. Yeah. And it's an opportunity of storytelling. Right. And I love that about the show. I also like that ring.
Very cool. Yeah, one yourself.
We created a beautiful ring for Elendil from his dead wife.
Yeah,
you and your mom. So that I love wearing that object as well, because that was something that we all created together. But if we're playing a rings game, I think I'm a cliche. I just want an invisibility ring. I fancy it.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm gone. Can you edit that way? I'm just going to go like that. And then cut me out.
Yeah, just hold there, don't move, so we can shave the same angle. Keep the same angle.
Just put a ring on and you go.
And then move out the shot real quick. Editing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, let's start there and show us what we have here. Explain what we're going with. I guess let's start there. What is it? You got some color choices?
Yeah, I mean multifaceted layers of.
You can show these guys too. Cameras over here too. So yeah,
it's on the cover of an album or something.
Yeah. Or like
it's
a Williamsburg graffiti.
What's happening
on the
with
side
a
of
chest?
A
It's a very happy chest.
Quite Ringo Starr here, isn't it?
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's some wide apart nipples on that. Slightly concern me.
Yeah. Well,
as the muscles grow.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Underneath that armor, he's ripped.
All right, and you know what to shade. Look at the shading here. Yeah.
I mean, that's
why I was quiet. You see, for the first 10 minutes.
Gorgeous.
A little David Bowie as well. Feels like.
And just one little weird eye off in the distance.
That's it.
The mind's eye.
You're never alone.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody watching.
Really wistful.
You didn't get a chance to finish the tower in the back. That's what it was.
Wistful.
It's quite a depressing photo.
Does it go one side? It does go. So it depends where they hang. Is that right?
It depends on where they point the fan.
Fine, love it.
Don't look too close.
I've usually got the fan now. What are you doing with the fan?
I don't know. It's the off the ocean.
All right, and this seems like between Smeagol
that's Mad
Smeagol
Eye Moody, isn't it?
Smeagol and Gollum are like this.
Einstein.
That is Brendan Gleeson in Harry Potter, right?
Oh, funny.
There's a combination of Trystan Gravelle and Pharazôn. Is what I'm saying. Anyway,
Pharazôn has a rock career we don't know about.
That's how he sees me in his head.
That's
When
like
he's
an
talking to
Andy
me, that's what he
Warhol.
sees.
That's really cool.
Well, I want to thank you for coming and coloring with us. Hope you had fun. More importantly, enjoy the fans here. Like, they absolutely love everything about it, and they want to fall into the fantasy of it all, and they don't apologize for loving it, which is beautiful too. So, congratulations again. We hope to see you again for the next season, and more importantly, we hope to see more of all these great stories and connect the dots. So,
beautiful.
thank you so much.
Thank you.